And I'm going to share my screen. But before I do that, so I don't have to edit anything, let me just cancel everything that's open on my browser tab, which is usually personal email stuff sometimes. All right. Okay. I was doing something earlier, but you sent a link in our chat, Tim, about move away from jQuery. Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah, so the backstory of it is that Alfie and Mike already started some while back to take a look at moving to jQuery Slim, which would be a huge target for the main JS bundle to improve that part. So I had some time last week and started picking it up. And the main thing that I did was fix all the jQuery Think 2 animation stuff. So that is all gone by now. And then I looked what is still missing to move to jQuery Slim, because this is definitely, I think it's 30% smaller than actual jQuery.
Yeah.
So I saw this MR from IP that he started to move away. They just did basically the move, and I now started fixing specs, and I also rewrote, because what we are doing right now, we are imitating browser behavior with the scroll to element, and I'm now using scroll into view from the actual classic JavaScript API on the element. Only if we are having an offset set to that function, then we are using still the measurements that we have in place. And almost everything is fixed apart from one RSpec that's failing at the moment.
Okay.
And I tried so many times to fix this. It seems my gut feeling says a little bit in the direction, oh no, now more is failing. There are more chests, since I moved just today away from the old implementation, because I said now perhaps it's simply due to the fact that we are trying to calculate all the time, which definitely with old jQuery we are trying to calculate. So there are also a couple of jest specs failing, but they are failing clearly. The main stuff is the RSpec.
Okay. I'm going to check this out locally.
Now comes the interesting point. It works on my machine. Everything else would be too easy. So
sounds like we need to send our GitLab runners to your machine then. All right. I'm gonna check this out then. Let's do it. Here we go. Oh, I'm doing stuff. I need to commit this. And not the structure SQL. Okay. All right. Thank you for being patient while I check out the branch.
Can you give us a little bit? No, actually, it's readable once you put you on the bigger screen. Sorry.
Oh, is it readable now? Okay.
For me, it is. Yeah.
I can bump it up. Oh man. Okay. We'll try this out. This might be too big, but all right. I've checked it out. I'm gonna make sure I'm on the latest one. But then I'm gonna do my my thing so I can see the changes of the MR and status. Okay, and you send a link to the failing RSpec. So while that's loading, here's the failing RSpec. Oh my goodness. Okay. Batch diffs. URL with a link directly.
There you go. Exactly. This obscured to be true. It seems, my understanding, it takes too long until it scrolls there, and making it wait until it is scrolling is the hardest part.
I had no idea.
Maybe we can add an explicit wait by adding an expect of an element that it should be in the scroll view. That's the best way to tell Capybara to wait, right? Sometimes we rely on some internal timers, and then, but if you are explicit, it's gonna wait.
Obscured means that it's hidden, right?
Yeah, take a look at the screenshot. Perhaps it's, I'm not sure. Sometimes it has run in the past.
Do you know where the screenshots live? Are they in temp?
Area.
Here we
And
go.
there's only one, because that's the only one that's actually. There you see, there's nothing scrolled.
Yeah.
So it's weird why only this one thing is not scrolling, because issues is working, etc., etc., etc. So
the file holder, first of type, discussion notes, timeline entry, binary. Yeah, let's jump into it. Okay. Here we are. Can cancel this. I am going to do this so you can see the changes in the MR over here. But this is the file that it's failing on. Oh, no, that's a pending one. It's this one right here.
Yeah, it's the user underscore index underscore underscore blah, 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 blah.
Awesome. Boom. And it's 86. All right. So I'm going to try to run this RSpec locally while we think about this.
Yeah, and that's exactly what there I already tried 2 times. Wait for all requests with expect to have selector in between.
Paul, do you have a Spring server running on another terminal by any chance?
I might not. I just run it all the time now because.
Yeah, because I've been told that it's a bit faster or more reliable if you execute Spring Server somewhere else and then the user command, right?
Oh, really? Well,
yep.
There you go. ASDF is upset with me. Why are you upset? Oh, because I don't have this started. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's not ASDF that's upset. It's I need to. Nope, that's not how you spell that. Got to start the whole GDK, and it's going. So we're here expecting. Oh, I see. We would expect the first one. I thought obscured meant that it'd be hidden. Isn't that what obscure means?
Yeah, that's also my understanding. So that the first one is not visible and the last one
but this says visible. First of type. Obscured true, so it's not visible. Got it. Okay. Obscured false. Got it. Okay. And our main action is we just visit. Oh, we click this link. Oh, and then we refresh. Got it. Okay. Okay.
Actually, obscured checks that it's in the center of the viewport and not visible at the same time. So this is the complete thing.
Obscured checks what again?
If the element is currently in the viewport.
Okay.
So if it's clickable but not visible, according to the Ruby doc.
Well, that's weird.
So it's legit that it's failing if the element is not there. I'll bet not visible. This is a weird expectation, but
okay. And going back to the screenshot, it seems that it didn't scroll at all.
Yeah.
But let's try this out. I mean.
Yep. So GDK is starting. It's already started. Now I'm just pinging GitLab to try to run. You said I should do this without Spring, Nico?
No. I mean, just run the server in another terminal. Just type Spring server somewhere if you don't have it already.
Let's do it. The bundle exec Spring server.
Yep.
Like that?
No.
Okay,
Try just Spring Server without bundle exec.
just Spring Server
Yep.
like that.
Okay. No, it should stay there. Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna run it then. Maybe it's doing stuff. I think it may be start. Do you think is it server or do you think it's start? It might be start. But anyways, I'm just gonna run it because this is what I usually do. But while that's also going, we can also check it out in prod once this thing is, or not prod, but in the actual application once this thing finishes. Oh, here we go. Great. So I was also thinking, hey, I'm just going to run through the test case manually and double check what's going on there. But man, be unfortunate if this is also like a browser version thing. So what's the main change that happened? You said we were doing jQuery scroll to, but now we're doing
Yes.
scroll into view, and that's the DOM API.
Yeah, and we were doing a couple of things. We were using a function as a helper that says scroll element that is in reality
This one
was using jQuery scroll to, and then it was using the Windows scroll to, and I basically now extended it to also use scroll into view so that it should be safer, because then the browser takes over all the. If you take a look at all that is happening on calculating which bar is using how much space is good. So that's the main change, is just now replacing jQuery scroll to in all instances.
Yeah, I see. Oh, when we were doing like, but this case is we were doing this animate thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we weren't even using scroll into view.
In a couple of other instances, we were using jQuery scroll to that are also changed in that MR.
And so now we do basically what animate would do, only if there's an offset where we're actually changing. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
Because we need to get rid of the animate stuff, and we need to get rid of jQuery scroll too. So the other thing is that I was thinking of is splitting up the MR in two.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, this is going to finish one day, but let's check it out manually here. Do you know like a good, the thing with having these random Latin names, I don't remember which MRs are good test cases and which ones aren't. Yeah, this one, okay, let's go for it.
So you need 2 file comments, right?
Yeah, let's do it. The first one, it's near the top. And then I'm going to do one down here. The second one, I can't spell. It's near the bottom. Okay, click on just now, then refresh the page. Oh gosh, okay. Oh man. That was less than ideal.
That was like a classic crash landing.
Let's try it again. All right.
But the fun fact is I'm getting now the same error also locally, because I was also running it now. It seems that we are simply not scrolling anymore.
Oh gosh. Well, that's what's going on here. Undefined method each of nil class. Did something broken?
But why is it saying something went wrong while fetching comments?
Yeah, that's really weird. What happens if I don't do this? The server's blowing up.
Perhaps because you are running the RSpec at the same time.
I shouldn't be. And
You're dosing yourself with running one spec.
I don't know. It should be fine.
Yeah, it gives me, I have the same thing. It gives me an internal server error. What the hell is?
Okay, I'm getting this failure locally too now. Yeah, but let me see. Am I getting the server error? No, I'm not getting a server error. So do you want to try? So I'm getting the same error. Do you want me to try to live debug this spec and we get in the spec environment?
Do put a live debug there. I think it's the best. And then try to scroll manually and see if the test passes.
Yeah. Okay. I
Let's
lost.
try to see if we get it running anyhow, because this seems to be running now, not anymore. Because the scroll in the view in reality was the last change just to see if this might stabilize it, because
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put a live where should I put it, Nico?
Just before the expectation.
Just
But
right here?
yeah, that's interesting. But you know, it's just by reading on the test, right? What we are doing here is there is 2 wait for requests, right? But wait for request is a helper that wait for Ajax request. I think we looked at it with AP in the past as well. Well, what we should do there is to do an explicit find of something that is in the page. So Capybara scrolls and wait.
Yeah.
But let's go with live debug just to confirm this, so we can also find
No, you're totally right, and we could probably expect these things to show up, and then we're good to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did up there in 81.
Oh, that's exactly what this thing is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But
is in the comments and only then it's scrolling, and this was like, if this is becoming super flaky because it's like looking too early.
Yeah. Yeah.
But does expect page to have selector actually does a wait? Don't we need to use find?
This will wait. Capybara will wait for this. It has its timeline for all these expects.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll wait for it, and it is passing. So this thing does exist. But one thing I'm noticing is that we're just selecting a note that has any ID attribute. It'd be really nice to.
If there are dupes.
Well, you know, we're going to have lots of notes that have ID attributes. It would be really nice. And technically, the last of type, that doesn't necessarily mean we've got all of them. Like if we're doing batch diffs, do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as there's the first one is the last one, and might not be the last one that we want to test for. Yeah. I
couldn't have said it better myself, IP. But we have the ID when we click on it. So I think we should get that ID to actually assert, is this comment shown up yet? But let's keep going. All right. So we added a live debug. Current user is namespace 1. That'd be a cool band name. Namespace 1. All right.
I should think more in band names when I'm debugging.
100%. My favorite is Wait for Promises. It's like the most emo band name.
Love it. Love it. I usually defer to horse for some reason. I don't know why. It's a good debugging word for me.
Oh, that's funny.
So I like the band names.
To be perfectly honest, I'm a bit confused by this node 2. Is this even real? Like in production, if you're on a merge request, is node 2 the real thing?
Oh, yeah. Did you see? Oh, did you see what happens?
The file loads and push the nodes down, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because of batch diffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the node is loaded before the rest of the diff and pushes it down.
But this works on production though. Like I'm surprised because this seems like the main issue is batch diffs.
Maybe
It could be
jQuery
that the jQuery
animate.
code is so slow that everything is loaded before.
So it turns out we're coupled to jQuery's large bundle size.
But can't we assert that something in a diff is there? So we wait for that to load and then we assert for the node. So we scroll into it. I know it becomes more complicated, right? But
yeah. Yeah, I would, because we don't even know. We could do like a manual wait. Like, let's make sure we get all of the files that we expect, and then, but clearly, even we're not. Our test is failing, seemingly for a good reason. I think because if we run it, it's not showing the note, and I think somehow we want to make sure it shows the note. So I don't think it's just a matter of fixing the test right now. It's not working.
Well, but wouldn't you say that how the content is loaded on the screen is not a concern of the test, but more a UX concern? Or I don't know.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, but no, actually no. Scratch that, I'm wrong, because you lose the functionality like this, right? Because the file load and push away what you were hoping to navigate to.
Yeah. But I'm really surprised that this works in production because this does not seem like changing our scroll API will cause any issues unless we call it with the weird offset because that's the weird condition that we add. And for some reason, we're actually scrolling. Oh.
It could be that the browser, you scroll to something, the browser knows where you are, and because it was like the offset thingy, it calculates what now the offset is and puts you in the right place or something like that, right?
Yeah. Do you want to try? Do you want to try this on master and double check if it's actually working on master?
I mean, if it weren't working on master, we have had a broken thing right now, right?
But that's a good point. I don't know if I want to double check that locally it's working on master so that we're not going down a rabbit hole of
Couldn't you just quickly change the implementation back?
Sure, that's a great idea. I can actually undo because this is technically I've reverted the stuff. I can actually just undo all these changes. Do you want me to do that real fast?
You just need to do them in the common utils, I believe, right? Because it uses the...
Sure. If you think that's it.
Merge request tabs. Just have a look at merge request tabs real quick first.
This one
Scroll to element.
Well, you need to return the...
Oh, this offset might be important. Oh, but I don't know. I have no idea.
But the problem with the offset is that we are calculating all the time different sizes of nav bars. And if we have scroll into view, we hand this over to the browser and it should work.
Yeah.
This is set up for failure in the sense of maybe simply the specific size that we had in the spec has worked so far because we don't have yet the size or any offset of the element, but we are simply calculating a couple of offsets plus 0, and then we still land quite close to it.
So one fix, and I could feel now a little bit of why this is failing, but one fix could be, and something we should probably be doing already in merge request world, which looks like we're not, we shouldn't try to scroll to the note until all the batch of diffs, but all the batch of diffs are loaded and we're not going to be bumping anymore. So that's one approach, is we want to make sure they're all loaded. The other thing would be, let's just make sure that at the note, there's not going to be any loaded above it if somehow we had that information. But I am wanting to check this out on master or just without these changes. Since it is a couple of files, I'm just going to undo this bit and I can just revert it back later. Oh, I lost my...
Stupid question. We aren't loading all that information lazily, right? Just to make sure that we don't do like...
We are loading information lazily, the batch diffs one.
I'm asking if we
Oh,
are.
it's
and
not.
then
It's not lazy. We do it.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
It's rather than one humongous request, we try to show the diffs being built up. So we just send it in a sequence of stuff. But it's not like when we should show it, then we start skeleton loading or whatever. We're not like responsive to in that sense, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking, because if we wait, we could end up waiting eventually. Look,
That is a good point. Yep.
Indefinitely. Sorry. That was.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, let's try running it without the changes, but then we'll undo the changes. IP, did you say this is day 1 back for you?
Yes, it is.
Hey, welcome back. Did you have a good time off? And thank you, by the way, for commenting on my Slack overwhelmed.
No worries. We had a good time off. It was parental leave, and it was fun. But it's also good to be back and to talk to some adults sometime. It's like
that aren't your wife or your partner. Yeah.
No, I mean, even, talking to the wife right now is a lot of baby stuff. So, having different topics than baby stuff is fine. No, I love talking about the baby. Yeah.
I won't ask you about the baby
God.
Are you at your co-working space, or are you at home right now?
No, it's my kitchen. So.
Oh, nice. Okay.
No,
nice. It's to give you some credit points. Tell us how much you love your partner.
It's can't hear me anymore, and it won't do any difference.
Oh, okay, anymore. Damn it! I'm sorry. Yeah. I was trying to save you here.
No, it's fine. No, the thing is that the local state I'm living in goes into Corona lockdown on Monday. And so I would be alone in the office right now anyway. And so I said, with the new baby and everything, it's better if I'm just here until the lockdown, until mid-January. I will just stay at home.
Just get the proper chair, otherwise you're going to break your back.
Yes, I will do.
Chair for just sitting and working, or is this for
No, for working, I mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, namespace 1.
We could we could dirty fix this by having a function that checks if the element is present and then check again for half a second and wait until the elements stop moving around.
Yeah, did you see how long that took? Did you see how it waited for everything? Something must have changed.
I wonder why it did though. I don't know if jQuery, because this uses, can you go into the code again in the merge request tab that does the thing? Tabs JS, scroll to whatever. Wait, what? Yeah, scroll to element. I don't know even if it is that function, but I assume it.
If location.hash looks like.
But this is just for the commits. It's not even not. Scroll to element diffs. What?
What is going on here? Toggle diff anchor scroll into view. I think we might be looking at the wrong thing.
But there was one that started with if location.hash. That seems like, right?
Oh, okay, let's check that out.
While you were moving around. There you go.
While I was moving around. Yeah, I know. I do that a lot.
But it's a problem because we have the merge request tabs, and one of the tabs is commits. And I think this function is only called for the commits. So if you have like a bunch of commits and you have the commit hash, it scrolls down to the commit in the commit list or something like that. And I don't know if it even is the node scrolling. So we should really check which function does the node scrolling.
It's time to put some console log around.
Yeah, I don't know if you change a JS file, does this load from Webpack or does it build one build for all the tests? If I change it.
Webpack.
So if I can change it and then rerun it in this test environment, I should get it. Let's try it out. I'm also going to open it up in Chrome because Chrome has better dev tools.
That's all.
Could you let me know the name of that file? I kind of want to browse around myself and familiarize myself.
Yeah, merge request tabs. I'm going to add a console log here saying merge request tabs, scroll to element, hit, here's the container. I'm going to open this up in Chrome. We're going to go namespace 1. Oh, you see how the hash stuck when we redirected to sign in? That's interesting.
So we change only the left part of the query, probably.
That's a Rails thing. Oh, no, I don't want to save that. So this worked. Let's see, did we get the thing from the console? Oh, I'm looking for something. Don't ask questions about it. I didn't get anything from the console. I don't know if, all right, let me just add a hello world somewhere.
Yeah. jQuery scroll to. No, Stack Overflow.
Thanks for hopping on, Michael.
Yeah, I'm so sorry I'm late.
Oh, don't worry about it.
I completely missed the notification. I was like sticking around to be a part of this. And then, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we are hitting hello world. This isn't even been run. Scroll to element it's a red herring. So
Good find. That's
yeah, we gotta.
There's a lot of scroll functionality in this file. Sorry, I'm late.
It's more, no, you're good. It's more complicated than you think.
It's more likely, can you go into the common utils and log in, there's a scroll to element function, and I would imagine that, you know, if the div nodes have their own scrolling implementation, they might use that one. So maybe just another console log in here. So that we see, yeah. Yep. So that we see if it's used or not.
Yeah. I would love, by the way, something that automatically did this. Every time I had a console log, putting the file name of where I'm logging from, that'd be really cool.
I've seen somebody with VS Code has like a thing where you can
really
just like, yeah.
That's cool. I'm envious.
You seem to know about it, Nico, so probably I should just shut up and let you talk.
No. I just said probably there is going to be an extension for this because there is an extension even messaging with Telegram in your VS Code. So, I mean.
I feel like it's actually, there's something built in, I think, but I've switched back to Sublime. I'm more comfortable with that. So I might switch back if I stop thinking that VS Code is annoying, I might switch back.
Boom. Scroll to element. Yeah, it ran right before we did something. Oh, look, it's already, okay. I guess I'm just duplicating myself. So we did hit it. I can add a debugger here and then we can see the stack trace. Let's do that.
So I may have a theory why this works with jQuery. I was looking into the source of scroll to. Inside it uses animate, and animate is actually a loop, right? And it has a callback that it calls itself again. So it may call itself again until it actually finds the element, right? So it's chasing it across the page.
That's such a good insight.
Wow. Yeah, we might need to replicate that literal implementation.
No, I think it's probably just enough to go into the batch comments, because I don't know what your stack trace right now says. Nothing.
I think I accidentally pressed play.
So because at some point we're saying, hey, scroll to that thing, and we just probably need to wait until the batch comments are loaded, and hopefully it's not that hard.
But it's possible that we have other situations like this, and it would be cool to have a context agnostic scroll to this thing. And I don't have, it doesn't matter if there's other things going to be happening above or below it or whatever. It just knows we got to get this thing into the view. I could see that
But,
being helpful.
Yeah, can you make that pane bigger so we can see the rest of the stack trace?
Yeah, like this.
Yep.
Okay. So this says scroll to
Scroll
element,
to node if needed.
scroll to note if needed.
It's actually in view.
We're
No, please.
Yep.
Can you search for that name in the code base? Scroll to element if needed.
Yep. You need to get something done? Write a Vuex action. If we're mounted, then we scroll to note if needed. Yeah, this could only be done not in Vuex. But
it's actually good that we are calling it from here, though, because here it has more context on whether the things are loaded, yes or not.
oh gosh,
Do we have like do we have something in the Vuex store to know whether all the stuff has loaded or not?
Yeah, can you check that action that you are in the search panel?
check this one. We just check, are we in the viewport? Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, that's not great either. For every note to have this check, scroll to every note has to see, am I in the viewport? Let's calculate.
No, it just does that if you execute it though, right? And you just execute it if you want to focus it. If you look at the code, it's like
if it's the target, I see. I
yeah.
see. We are still doing a conditional on mount for every note, but it's not a layout conditional. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for correcting me on that.
It's a cheap, yeah, good call, good insight.
Okay. And so
just to validate our theory, can you put set timeout 500 around that call in the view component in the mounted and see if this fixes our problem?
You like,
but we reverted the code, right?
oh, we can go back. Do you want to go back to it?
Yeah, go back to it and add a set timeout around this scroll to element or a set timeout of, I don't know, a second or something.
Yeah, let's do it. Press any key to, I'm gonna kill this. Oh, look, our test passed. Yeah, let me just do this. Let me stash what I've got.
That's another song name.
Stash what I got.
Stash what I got. Love it.
I think that's like the lead track of our second album, where we're doing some experimental stuff.
We should do a pairing song contest.
I'm just going to show my wife that I love her and make her a coffee, right?
Oh, that's good. Do it. All right.
This I might say that this code make me feel a bit uneasy.
Oh
What
yeah,
does?
that was the first thing I thought when I saw this file. I was like, oof.
Yeah. Okay, here's all the changes. Let me stash pop. Oh, I got configs. Oh gosh, because I did add stuff. Let me not stash pop then. I was just adding console logs. So this yeah, that's no problem.
Just discard it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna discard it. But we do need this live debug, so I'm gonna do that one. For these things, I will. Oh gosh, this is the one that we're doing. This one.
This is the way.
Yeah.
Oh damn, you haven't seen it, The Mandalorian.
No, I haven't seen The Mandalorian.
No? Okay.
I haven't seen it.
That's why you're not reacting.
No.
I was like, damn it.
I'm sorry, man.
No spoiler, please. No spoiler.
No, that was not spoiling anything. Just
yeah, no, I know.
but it's great. I won't. But watch it if you can.
So you'd say it's worth it?
Oh yeah, but it's like the only thing on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
the,
Well-
the rest is like nostalgic thing.
Yes. Yeah. We have, I have kids, so Disney Plus is where it's at.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
So you, and
But
you
not
haven't
The
seen it?
Mandalorian. Yes. We don't let them watch The Mandalorian because Yoda eats babies. That's the only thing I know about The Mandalorian is there's an episode where Yoda's eating babies.
Yeah, that's true. It's not super like
I know.
it's kids friendly. How old are they? Eating babies is kid friendly. Don't quote me on that. Don't, please.
Okay. Paul, are you still recording? Put this live on YouTube, please.
I
Not on
am
listen.
recording. Oh, I should have
Oh,
said
damn
spoiler
it.
alerts. Yoda. Yeah. Anyways, I think it's fine. This video is not made for kids. So.
Okay. So let's go to our view component and then delay this call. Somehow.
Yes. The action you were referring to, right?
Yes, but do delay it in the
You do it in the
Wow.
component.
No, it's the same. It's the same.
Okay.
Debugging 101 set timeout. I thought we are done with this kind of
Well,
things.
yeah. This isn't gonna. I don't think this is gonna fly, and I think we're gonna want to. I think we're gonna want to re-implement or copy.
No, this is not a fix. This is just a validation
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it's
yeah. Yes. Yeah. I know we're on the same page.
So just for theory purpose, not saying that this is the step that we should do, this should be like handled by the father of these components that also know when the diffs are there, right? All the nodes should emit an event, maybe.
Oh.
I mounted. I scroll to me, and then the father knows when to actually scroll to them, right?
Yeah, and
or we go the black magic version.
And I think that makes sense. Is at the page area. I have all the information now to know when do I need to do this, and what do I need to scroll to, and it's all anchor tags and stuff. So I think it's, we don't even need to talk through components. It's just, hey, I just need to scroll to this element, but I can only do it this time. I really feel, this doesn't need to be handled at the note level. But I imagine we did it at the note level because notable note is used for issues, merge requests, everything uses this. So it's anytime we're trying to load a note, let's do it this way because this is the shared part. But I feel like we probably could just have a component that does this, go to anchor that we put at the area that actually has all the information rather than at this lower level. But anyways, okay, I've got a new.
Yeah, it seems like a good approach to try to solve this once and for all, and then like have an implementation that we could share across.
Yeah, but I feel like we're kind of brute forcing it if we say, okay, we just need to do this at the right time. I really like how flexible jQuery's implementation is of.
But then it's black magic, right?
It's not black magic if it's just doing something.
No, what I mean is right now we
Says the
stumbled
person
or
who likes
knows
magic.
on this bug because we didn't know that this was a hidden feature of the fact that it's using animate inside, right?
I mean, to me, it would be interesting if we could make use of any DOM element or something, right? That you, for example, say, hey, I want to have the scrolling behavior and I'm going to keep track until DOM content loaded or until I don't know what, right?
Yeah.
Some event in the future. And then I'm going to stop the tracking thing, right?
That would be nice.
Or maybe I stop the thing once the user has like scrolled by themselves or something.
This worked. Adding the timeout worked.
Does the spec pass now?
Oh, that's a good question. I haven't ran. Well, yeah, I guess I can just hit enter. Boom, spec pass. So adding the issue is, and I think Nico, I think you're the one that called it out. This is this feels like this is on the right path. jQuery is elegant. When you say put this in view, it's gonna keep putting it into view until it really is in view. And we were really quite coupled to that behavior. And I feel like, well, is it possible for us to just copy what jQuery is doing?
Yeah, as a first step, yeah.
Do you want to try to do that?
Well, we can have a small callback thingy that looks for the element, that it checks their position, and I don't know, after 3 times that it run 100 millisecond one after the other, the element is still there, it calls it done.
I mean, it's all open source. Can we just? I mean, we don't.
Yeah, I can send you the article. I think this is the one jQuery scroll to. I found it on GitHub.
So it's okay.
But you know, it uses animate inside, so then you don't see much.
But then,
what is the thing that's responsible for it staying there? Is it animate or so it's basically recursively doing the callback? No.
Yeah, animate as a callback, and it calls itself again if you look at the bottom of the file.
Yeah, I'm seeing that, but I'm wondering, when does it stop?
No idea. I stopped looking at this file because, to be honest.
so
I was thinking the same thing.
So scroll into view is different. You know, it looks like. So we're technically calling scroll into view, I think.
But this is the new behavior. This is the new code, no?
New behavior.
Before it was working with the jQuery that I just sent you.
Oh,
No,
you're right. Sorry.
No, look at the implementation. The old behavior was just using animate. Do you see that?
That's why it worked. Animate.
Well,
Why? So how does this work? Oh, because we keep calling content top?
No, but this animate called like this doesn't call itself again. So I got it wrong because I was looking at scroll to the jQuery plugin that calls animate with a callback.
I assume that the jQuery stuff is just too slow.
Yeah, at this point.
I have no idea how in the world this is working. All right.
Crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on here. I want some.
What does animate do? Well, there is a 200. Is that a delay?
Is that a duration of the animation?
Oh gosh.
Yes, maybe that's it. Just
Set your set timeout to 200 milliseconds and see how it...
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Okay.
It works most of the time.
So we do. All right. What is
on the new implementation? The scroll into view. Oh, sorry guys. So the thing is, here the duration does nothing. We are just like, hey, if you had a duration before, you probably want to have smooth scrolling. So we do the smooth scrolling, and rather than a real timeout. Do you see that? Like, yeah, because auto is like the quick, like scroll immediately, right? So the only thing that we do with duration is, okay, let's do a smooth scroll if you wanted to, because it looks like an animation, but it doesn't do the real timeout thingy.
But we were quite coupled to that delay here. That's the takeaway. Is it seems like.
But,
should we just wrap the whole thing in a set timeout duration and call it a day?
No, but
could we test it just to make sure?
But in bad days, do your UI scroll to the right node? To me, no. When the MR is big or when the issues are thick, it doesn't catch the right node. It's usually a little bit off, right? Yeah, so I think that this 200 millisecond is just works most of the times, right? Mm-hmm. Since we are here, maybe we can go with something more sturdy. I mean, right?
I agree. Just go with a timeout for now. Create a follow-up issue and never do it. No, I mean, I'm just kidding a little bit, but I mean, we now have a source code team. Couldn't we just create a bug and be like, hey, the node scrolling is not working as well. You should look into the implementation of that for the MR diff view, and please do that soon. And you know, because the behavior is bad right now, and it will just be as bad if we now put a timeout of 200 milliseconds or something, right?
Yeah, that is a fair point. So what's the problem we're solving by moving forward and accepting that technical debt? What's the gain we get? Are we able to remove?
the gain we get is that we are able to throw like a third of jQuery away or something like that. And that by doing it, we are putting some more eyes on it and can create like a better follow-up issue and say, hey, this behavior is broken right now anyway, please go and fix it. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
But and that makes sense. But we are able to justify this with immediate win. Like we're after this MR, we can throw away part of jQuery.
Yes.
Okay. I think that makes sense because
That's great.
our net, we're still netting out a positive because we're already, this isn't great. And I want to confirm this by actually changing this to 0. So I want to do one more confirmation to that we're coupled to this magic number by moving this to 0. So I'm going to, I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to just copy this old implementation.
Yeah, I think that's what I wanted to do as well. I want to make, because you've been at this for a while and it jumped in a little bit later. I want to make completely sure that we're like, this is the problem exactly. I have some level of confidence at this point, but it's always good to see it spelled out. I think it's a good call, IP, that to round it off here, create an issue. I think definitely encourage the people who are working on this to look through this pairing session to regain the same context text that has been built up here.
Yeah.
That said, if we do, I don't think we have minutes left, but it could be interesting to like just throw off as a final gesture, like what would be a good way to solve this.
Yeah, and I think what our guts were telling us at the beginning, one approach is letting the thing that has the information kick this off. The note is just looking at itself and doesn't have information of everything else that's going on. So we need to move that up. But the scary thing is that these notes aren't just used for merge requests, it's used for issues and everything else. And so moving things up to the entry point, we now are talking like 3 to 4 different entry points potentially. But I think there's a way to do it with high reusability, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yes, probably there
I think this calls for
effort.
What were you gonna say?
I think this calls for a general solution, a component that handles this. I do like that the component can tell I'm ready, but I want to leave the control to the parent.
Yeah.
And to make the decision to say I'm going to scroll to you. So like some kind of negotiation where you say I'm ready.
To be honest, I don't know if that even will cut it for the following reason. Even if we have batch loaded all the things and all the comments and it's all there, we still do lazy loading of images. So I don't want us to over-engineer a system that's then even prone to error, right? So the question is like, maybe it is possible to create such a function that, you know, maybe for a few milliseconds checks if it's still in the view and if the user hasn't interacted with the page, scrolls to it again, and otherwise, you know, just leaves it be and imperfect. I don't know.
And that's another
Fair
really
point.
I think that's another really viable option as well. So it's gonna I think it's worth looking into it for sure. I personally like having smaller, focused, resilient systems. I think is better than when we just make our domain logic really large. If it's like, oh, well, now we have batch diffs and we have all these other stuff going on, maybe we could reframe the problem to what you're describing, IP. I personally like that because of, I think, the resiliency that it could lead to. But, you know, this is...
Great point.
This is source code's problem. I'm joking.
You're
Bye,
gonna
everyone.
share this
I need to
video
jump
with
off.
them.
See you, Nico. Thanks for hopping on.
Bye.
Aren't you an engineer on source code, Paul? Something like that?
I'm an editor, but I think we're closely related to source code. I think they're technically our our
I mean, they
sibling.
switched around a few things, so I'm not entirely sure who works on what anymore.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, did you see? Or no, it's still showing up. So
You still have the timeout of a second, right?
oh, I still have that. Good call. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good call. Yes, great call. I want to double check that we have no timeout here.
Yeah. But to be honest, like the most resilient implementation here seems to be like a timeout of 300 milliseconds and calling it a day. Like, yeah.
But that's scary, and it's scary too because that's going to be a flaky that's open to some flakiness in spec world as well. Like I think it's a good call. I think it's a good call for this next step because that's currently what we have. But I hope we don't just say this is the only way to do it.
Oh,
Yeah, there it is. Oh,
It still is taking its time. Do you think it's just because the animate is slow?
yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. It seems like well, I don't know what this second thing is for animate. I don't know what that second argument is.
I assume, to be honest, is like duration of the animation itself. Oh, what's the default for it? Not that the default is like we're giving it a null. Okay.
A number
Fast and
fast
slow.
or slow. Yeah. So what happens if I just give it a 1? That would be interesting. Let's try that out.
I don't know. It's just like that jQuery animate probably takes its sweet time and that's it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We could add some performance now calls too to get that. Oh. Gosh. It seems like it's what is happening there? It seems like it's doing something. Let me try something else over here. Let me try this one.
Because it's not clamped to the bottom.
Yeah. So it popped right away, and then you do see it jump. Because here's the other reality too. This, because it is on the component itself, because Notable Note calls this, it's only going to call this once this get renders. So that's another interesting timing of things. Yeah,
But
it does.
the DOM native scroll into a view also just then does it, right? Because we just changed out the internal implementation, right? If you take the new implementation, can you switch out the implementations and take the new one and see how the behavior differs?
Yeah, you want me to call the new implementation? So scroll to element. Nope, that's wrong. Element new.
With context. Oh God.
Yo, dog, I heard you like scrolling to elements. So we added scroll bars on your elements so you could scroll to element while you scroll to element. Oh man, it's slightly obscured. I think part of it too might be, I think it might not be this timing stuff. It could be because this, you see, we're scrolling at the body level. But here we're doing scroll into view. And so this is going to take into account, I think, some offset stuff that, are we even using that though? Do you guys have?
Yeah, I
We're
don't know.
not using it. But we do use content top, and that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Content top will do it. Here's why. Oh yeah, we're not using content top here.
To be honest, like I think we're a pretty good point. I have to hop off as well. I mean, I started DMR like 8 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
I know that we probably need more debugging, and this MR view needs some special care. And you see, it's probably the smart thing to do is to have the old end to the new implementation and migrate bit by bit rather than everything at once. Even though if it would be nice to migrate everything at once.
Yeah, that's a really good call too. That will definitely help speed things along. So, well, thanks for hopping on, IP. I have one more thing I'm going to look at, and then I'll stop recording. And Michael, if you got to hop off, go for it. Or if you want to hang around,
I can hang around.
I was wanting to see what happens if we just call this behavior, because I see we're not even targeting the element here at all. So, like, what happens if we just call this bit in the new implementation? You know what I mean? So if I do something like offset or true, yeah, but looking down here, it's not going to just be this content top is a big deal. Content top has to do with like all of the stuff that could possibly be on top.
Dang.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
I thought that was like just content top, but that seemed. And I was thinking it's a big deal because you thought, like, I thought you meant it was like gonna do a reflow or something, and I was like, well, like this whole thing is about reflow.
Yeah, that's a good.
But I did not think that was a separate function that does all sorts of things.
Yeah, because it has to do with the with all the floating headers, I think.
Gotcha.
We'll try it like this. I'm gonna add a console log.
Well, give me a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sorry about that. All right. Let's see what happens like this. I am doing the new behavior. Let's run it. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Man, it is like it takes jQuery takes its time here. I'm gonna add a debugger so we can jump into so even if I did this, or let me do node 2 instead. It's the one at the very bottom. If I run this, yeah, so with the old behavior using just this content using the window.scroll2, it works. But let's see the old behavior with the L scroll into view. But this is just the last note. You saw with the middle note, it was doing something weird. Did he even go for it?
All right.
Hey.
How are you doing? You still recording?
I'm still recording. Yeah, we're gonna
yeah, let's go through this.
End it in a little bit. So I'm running the new behavior with note 2, and it's doing the same. It's not even going down. Lord knows why. Let me console log that we're actually calling this thing.
Wait, so what is offset at this point? It's probably 0 in the beginning, right?
Yeah,
So
it is. Yeah, so here we're calling scroll into view. It's not even doing its thing. Let me open this up and see what we get here. And it's because we're not doing a timeout either.
Oh wait, there was okay. There was an error. Okay.
Oh, I added a. Did I have a breakpoint? No, I didn't. Let's keep going. That just didn't work.
Scroll to element new. Scroll into view. Is what?
It's calling scroll into view, and this is not working. And this is the same. This is the same behavior that we saw in. This is the same behavior that we saw in. What do we call it? In the RSpec test. And one reason I can think it could not work is because the element actually isn't in the DOM anymore. If view was like doing this re-rendering thing and had to create a whole new element or something, maybe the element isn't even showing up in the DOM anymore when we're running this. Because one difference between that and the old behavior is we're not scrolling to a specific element. We just get the element info for where do we need to put the scroll bar.
Right.
You know? So when I did this, so forcing this condition to run this behavior, it actually worked. And maybe we need to just do that. Although I'm a little concerned about what content top means, but it seems like it's kind of working. You see?
Oh, bam.
I don't know.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, it gets also interesting too when and so going back to like so this is a note in the middle. If you load this one.
Yeah, the 2 one or.
Yeah, 2 is the one on the bottom. 3 is actually.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
here.
right,
No,
because you posted it after. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's.
When you do this one in the middle, weird things happen.
Okay. So it's not bulletproof for all these different conditions.
Yeah, I think it was upset because of the console. But yeah, you see how, and I think this is what content top is doing. You see how it's kind of scrolling past it. I think content top is going to offset that a little bit.
So what I'm thinking here is because there seems to be some amount of guessing into this, and like content top does something and we don't know what. And just bear with me here. I know.
No, you're right.
I know. But it might actually be worth the effort going through and like implementing it how we want it to.
Yeah.
Like starting over, and again, see separate issue, but like remove the content top and like, okay, what is it that we want to do? And then implement that. And then
yes, 100%.
I think there's a lot of benefits to be gained from that because we get rid of a lot of this legacy. Vice versa, I don't entirely know the full extent of this problem and how much it impacts us.
No, I think
so. Like I have a hard time weighing the pros and cons here.
I think you're 100% correct. I think we could greatly simplify what's going on by reshaping the problem as opposed to scroll to an element in GitLab's UI, which could have these and could have these, and it's a very, very complex problem. If we reshape it to scroll to an element which may or may not be hidden on the screen under a certain period of time, and then we just figure
exactly
out
with the last, like until like I think it was IP mentioning, until the user interacts with the viewport, or until this max amount of time have passed, then we don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh! that's a great point. If we could do it by the time the user interacts with the viewport, the number of times like I've been like, oh yeah, here we go, and then boom, like I scroll it scrolls or something for me. It's like, oh gosh, yeah, that's a great.
But that is like something to test out, because I don't know if that statement necessarily holds true.
Sure.
Because I sometimes like will like jiggle the page a little bit to, like, I don't know, like I'm reading something at the top because I'm waiting for it to scroll. And that might be a symptom of it not acting fast enough, of course,
Mhm.
but it might not be like what the user expects to happen.
Yeah.
But like pulling the carpet underneath the feet of a user is rarely what you want to be happening.
Yeah, totally. So I'm seeing way more success with this condition than with this one. And I kind of now, if we had lots of time, I would want to debug, okay, what is actually L? Does it even exist in the document anymore? Because what we saw in the RSpec is it wasn't going anywhere. So wonder why that's not happening. The other thing I was really wanting to dive into, I was wanting to add a debugger and just step into animate and just see what is actually animate doing.
Right.
Do you want to take 2 minutes to do that, or do you?
Yeah,
just,
sure. Yeah, I actually wanted to do that from the very get-go, but it seemed like
No, let's
the
do
other
it.
people had other things to do, and obviously this meeting is already over time. I joined late, so I'm good.
So we're on Michael time right now. I'm joking.
Yeah, yeah. It's Friday, 5 p.m. and I took the liberty of bringing in a beer.
Oh, perfect. Yes, that's good. All right. I didn't have the console open, so we didn't debug anything. Let's try it again. So I'm using the old one. Added the debugger right before we hit animate, so we can step into it and see what is going on there. Boom. Did we scroll to something already? Oh, looks like it did jump me to something. That's weird. Okay.
So something is already.
Top is this big number. We are then calling content top and passing that in. Let's jump into animate. This is probably going to take me into the oh gosh.
You want to jump? Yeah.
This is the jQuery function. So I'm going to go one more. I'm going to go one more out. Oh no, I lost it. Oh wait, no, it's not there yet. Okay.
Yeah, it's compiling the properties now, and then you got it.
There we go. Now into animate. Here we go. So this is what animate does. It creates an animation. Okay. jQuery speed, easing, callback.
It's speed that's being passed down. Mm-hmm. That's the second argument.
That's that duration. Yeah, but when we tried it as 0 and 2, like that didn't make a big difference. We can jump into there.
But I think the speed is like amount of, we'll see, but probably some amount of like weight on like in between loops or something. I don't know.
I wonder what happens if I do pass a 0 and these were undefined. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Okay. I wasn't sure if it gave it like a default or something. Then here's the animation, which is a function to do the stuff. So then we are then going to call each animation, it looks like. So we're going to try to do this thing. Or we can queue it. But queuing, we don't have, that's not in our options. We don't queue things. I don't know. Let's add a watch for Optall. Oh, it's not even here yet. Oh, because I haven't. Oh, I know that. Okay, now it's there. I was like, what? If we're empty or we're false. Oh, that's why it delays. It queues something. Oh, if we passed queue as false, I wonder if the old behavior would fail too. But what is queue?
Well, Optall. If you go up, can you see the declaration of Optall?
It comes from jQuery speed.
Right.
Oh yeah, let's see. Q, it says FX.
Mhm.
I don't know what FX means.
I'm sure it's something about like an animation term.
Yeah.
And FX for effects or something.
Yeah, that's true. So for some reason, if we were an empty or we weren't queuing, then we're gonna just run it. But now we're actually gonna queue it, which is good for animation stuff because you want to do it on the right spot. So let's see on the queue what happens here. So we've got stuff to queue. Oh, this is if we were gonna queue, it was gonna recursive call queue, I guess. But then here, ensure hooks for the queue.
Yeah, now we're like in jQuery's queue and promised land, which is
What did this do?
can be hairy to debug. I've been down this before, like not this particular thing, but like
Oh yeah.
jQuery's promise implementation.
Oh yeah.
That was, yeah.
Not public. All right, now it's actually called it. Operate on a copy of prop. Okay, so just copying the prop, and then we're creating an actual animation. Does animation start itself? I'm gonna add a breakpoint here. It's a good thing we're recording this, because I usually, if I ever had to revisit it, I wouldn't want to step through here again.
Right.
Oh, it must have already ran. So I guess
It
animation.
created the animation now, but I don't know if that also runs it.
It sure scrolled already though. Oh, we did
Oh,
another.
it did.
We did it again.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize I was like down in the.
Oh no, you're good. But look, it just did it again.
But now it's doing the finish, or yeah, it's finishing.
I guess so. So now it's all done. So it seemed to scroll a couple of times actually. I'm gonna just confirm.
Which makes sense. It like needs to do a couple of.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Boom. I'm just gonna press play because we've got it. Okay, boom. Boom. That's deep in the animation stuff. So I want to check this out. When I step into here, I need to skip this one. Skip this. Skip. It's trying to do a deep copy of something, and I'm not concerned about this right now. Oh gosh. Okay, let's go for it.
Double for loop. Love it.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
All right, we're in. We're out. So we did the jQuery extend. Now we should be able to step into animation.
Yay.
Awesome. Has a tick. Deferred promise.
Right. That's what I thought. Yep.
Create a tween.
Mm-hmm.
Where does it? So yeah, what's start time? There's no. Let's see. It is deferring it. Yeah. Which is why it works. There's no FX now, so we're going to create a time that we need to start. And we have a tick function, which is, yeah. So if I go here, I put a breakpoint at our tick function. I'm going to press play on this thing, which is creating a large promise. Yeah, we haven't scrolled yet. We've got to tick first. Okay, man, we are animating. Yeah, we need to finish.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we're replacing this. We don't. Boom. So we just got.
Oh, okay. That was just one run. Yeah. So it tweens.run.
Yeah, but what IP's saying about it being slow, it's not just because it's beefy. It's because it has to take this whole process into this animation loop, and that animation loop is totally deferred. So there is 100% a race condition. Seems like there's a race condition happening here.
Yeah, or it very easily could happen if yeah.
Yeah. So interesting stuff. I think we've got some alternatives, and we've understood the situation somewhat well. Do you have any final
Right.
thoughts or remarks?
I do, like my expression about like completely rewriting, like I know it's like it might not necessarily be worth the effort, but I think like a compromise between that and what IP is suggesting with like, you know, the MVP that gets the job done without touching all the different things,
Yeah.
I think is a good step forward, because that, if that means we can remove a lot of this code, then at least we can start there, and then like we can build on that if that ever becomes a problem, or it turns out it solves all our problems and we never have to look back, and
Yep.
it might not be the prettiest of implementations, but it works. I mean, who
Yeah.
gives?
I think that's a really good. I like it because the problem scope. It's a problem. It's a hard problem, but the problem scope is focused, and it's small, and it's
Right.
to the point where, and because it's not coupled to GitLab context, means we can just use it whenever we need it. And I like that a
Right.
lot. So I feel like that would be a good approach. I can understand if we're wanting a win right now, wanting to just do a set timeout, which is mimic
Right.
technically this deferred stuff here, and I'd be fine with that. But ideally, that wouldn't last for a while. We'd have an issue for we need to solve this specific problem holistically.
Right.
But this is interesting.
Definitely. I learned a bunch diving into this, and I also had to like regain the context. That
Oh
was
yeah.
great.
Yeah, no, it's good. I appreciate Tim bringing it up, and IP and Nico hopping on. Thanks for hopping on, Michael. You have a great rest of your beer and rest
Yeah.
of Friday.
Yeah, I will go have my Friday for sure.
All right, I'll catch you
I'm
later,
not
man.
sure what I'm gonna do.
Okay. See you, man. Bye.
See ya. Bye.